Welcome. In this video, we'll look at the prerequisites for building the GCBM project using a project template called Standalone. Displayed here is the process for running a project in the GCBM. The first step is configuring and running the tiler to process the input spatial data into GCBM format. Next, the Recliner to GCBM tool is run to create the GCBM input database. A Python script will configure the GCBM for the user, and then the user needs to run the model. In the final step, the user will run the post-processing tools to generate the final output. As with any CBM CFS3 project, the user can generate all of the usual ecosystem indicators, like net primary productivity, in database tables, but they also convert the raw spatial output to final layers. This slide provides the basic technical background required to understand some aspects of using the GCBM. Python is a general-purpose scripting language that is used in most of the pre- and post-processing work in the model, so a basic knowledge of Python is needed to run the GCBM. A Python cheat sheet called tilercheatsheet.txt is available in the documentation folder, and it provides Python snippets for the most common uses in the tiler. There are a few prerequisites to run the standalone project in the GCBM. Instructions can be found in the readme.txt file in the one_standalone_template folder. If Python 3.10 is already installed on the user's computer, they can simply locate it in its existing location. Next, the user needs to open a command prompt in tools/python_3_installer, and then they must type install_modules_only.bat, followed by the Python path in square brackets. If Python 3.10 isn't already installed, the user must open a command prompt in tools/python_3_installer and type install_python, followed by the Python path in square brackets. Python will then be installed into either the folder specified in the path or into a directory called Python 310 on the C drive by default. Since the GCBM's archive index database is in Microsoft Access format, the user will need to install the Microsoft Access database engine if they don't already have it installed. The user will need to install Visual C++ redistributable packages and Microsoft.NET 4.8. Once all of the software is installed, the user can check that everything is running correctly by simply double-clicking on the run_all.bat file. If everything goes well, great, but if not, the following are some troubleshooting steps. If the tiler script fails, it's a Python or GDAL issue. The user will need to recheck their environment variables and that all the paths have been properly and correctly set. If the Recliner to GCBM tool fails, it's usually a Microsoft Access database driver issue. The user can try switching from the 64-bit version to the 32-bit version by changing the platform variable in the run_all.bat file. Displayed here is what the file looks like. At the top are some configuration lines. Here you can see the platform variable that refers to the Microsoft Access driver version, and the user can try changing the version and saving the file. If the GCBM fails to run, it's usually because one of the earlier tests failed. And finally, if the post-processing script fails again, it's usually due to one of the previous failures mentioned above that may have been missed, so either the GCBM failed or there was a Python or Microsoft Access database driver issue. If everything runs properly, the user should see the following on their screen when the run_all.bat file is run. The pre-processing tools in this case complete their processing fairly early, and the iterations displaying indicate that the GCBM is running. In the next video, we'll discuss how the tiler is configured.